All right, this is our last topic discussion. I'm kind of excited. Um, all right, so our fourth topic discussion is going to be about shamanic techniques. And the first thing I'm going to do is set up my live, so bear with me one moment. Good, 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 good. Just like that. I'm getting better at this tech stuff, you guys. Slowly but surely. All right. So the other thing I'm going to do is take the volume down. Yay! We're on, we're on. All right. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do is go ahead and listen for this portion. And when we get to the part where there's an offered meditation, so in this case today, I'm going to try to drum. I have been recording these just this past week and the week before as a YouTube video as well, so it's easier to then send the recorded video to you via email. If you're just stumbling across this right now, I'm Liana, and the Ascension workshop is next week then, and we're going to do a whole hour on each of these 4 topics, and it's going to be live streamed as well. And if you can't make the live stream and you're looking for the information, you can comment here, or you can pop onto my page anywhere, spelled like you see over here, Liana Xochitl Soria. That makes me easy to find if you just use my whole name, and then drop me a message then that says I would really like the recorded video today, less than a half hour, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, May 1, 2, 3, 4, so May 4th then is going to be a whole hour then on today's topic, which is shamanic practices. So the 4 days, the 4 hours that make up the free masterclass for light workers, I'm calling the Ascension workshop. And the Ascension workshop is going to cover 4 important topics. And then Monday is going to be foundational practices. And the foundational practices leak over into everything else that we do for you to have a proper boundary, for you to be grounded, stable, for you to be here making sense, anchored in physicality, rooted like a deep-rooted old tree, and then at the same time rising very, very high and experiencing then different levels, rising higher and higher in your consciousness and able to then connect to a higher aspect, a higher vibrational, more expansive divine aspect of your own consciousness, or those of guides, helper spirits, angels, non-earth beings, group consciousness, any number of things. But we talked about spirit guides last week. So foundational practices, absolutely essential, number 1. Number 2 then is going to be about energy work, energy healing, both taking charge of your own energy and being a master of your own energetic fields and exchanging energies for what you'd rather have, experiencing what you prefer by doing the work and seeing why what you don't prefer is there. Now we're getting into our own, minds and experiences and past, even though we're talking about energy healing, Reiki, or what is your preferred mode or name for energy healing, but it is your sovereignty while you are in this human body of yours. If you aren't in charge of the energies that you're allowing or aware of the energies you're holding inside you, then that would be number 1 task after foundational practices, right? And then the third one, which is what we talked about last week as a topic discussion, was connecting to guides, connecting to spirit, connecting your consciousness to another consciousness, working with guides or your higher self as a spirit guide. Very important. What does that even mean? Why do we do this? And everybody has something. And I have met some humans that aren't meant to work with spirit guides or choose not to work with spirit guides. And across the board, it's been allowed, encouraged, acceptable, and even perfectly in alignment with their spiritual progress as spiritual seekers. I'm talking about light workers, that they have their higher self as their spirit guide. That works. It works very well. It's extremely straight to the point. So if that's you, you can still use all of this spirit guide contact. Okay, so I'm hoping that I will see comments. So say hello. Robin, did you find me? Sometimes I see the comments after. There's this like 15-second lag. So I will keep looking. If I see your comment now, say hi, pop in questions that have to do with this topic discussion. And if I see comments about then today's shamanic practices on that Thursday, May 4th, well, I'll include it in the workshop then, the free live streamed workshop or the recording. Okay. Shamanic practices. Now, sometimes you will get into a conversation where that word shaman is a little bit heavy or loaded, or people don't like it for one reason or another. I had to repeatedly check in with my guides and my overall larger guidance system, then including my higher self. Do I need to use this word? Not everybody likes this word. Shaman, and some people would say, don't take that. It's not for you. I guess if we have to claim some kind of bloodline in this physical vessel in this body for this lifetime, I guess I could still claim. I do not think it's important, and I will explain to you why in a moment. But first, the word. So I am on North American soil, with all respect to the indigenous peoples of the North American soil, where I find myself now on as a mix then of indigenous peoples that have been on this land for a really long time, and then non-indigenous, as is many of us who are here right now. What's appropriate. If I was to go back to ancestral lines, you'd have to cut me up into 40 pieces. So where would you put me? Some of me would still be here. I don't know what the answer is for everybody. So I'm going to invite you to go into your heart, your quiet heart, without any fear, and see what feels right for you. Use the word that suits the meaning you want to convey. That's all. That term shaman is not of any North American origin. So in English, which I am speaking here, I'm in the US, I'm in California. In English, as we are speaking, we have nothing but borrowed words. Linguists come after me. We're quite the hodgepodge, and so constantly borrowing words. Many terms that we would use in absolute everyday English. They're Latin, they're Greek, they're French, they're Latin, Spanish, a lot happening over here. And so, what words do we have a right to? You're speaking a language, it has to do with general consensus. Everybody uses these words to mean this, and in order to speak to other people, you're going to use that word. You've been growing up with it. You've been learning this since you were a baby. And if you speak more than one language, then multiple times over. I want you to get a feel for the concept of language and words as your tools. They're meant to work for you. So when I asked about the word and is it appropriate for me in my teachings, my guides very clearly came in and said, have the word that is already used and known, have the word mean what you want it to mean. And I've done this in my own teachings with the word Reiki. I like that word. Universal life force consciousness. Reiki, chi, prana, life force energy. Hey, non-English native word, borrowed and used, and now commonly used as a tool for a shortcut of a concept. We use language as a tool. It's an approximation of a meaning. And when I'm talking about a practice of energy healing, energy channeling, or being a conduit to take universal life force energy through yourself as a agent of healing for another person, we're going to use this borrowed word, and it's going to mean what we want it to mean here in our modern life as we go towards being more of a planetary, a union of a network of consciousness then all over the planet. Then the borrowed words are going to increase, they're not going to decrease. So I'm spending a lot of time on the word because I want it to work for you if you choose, and I want you to be able to come in and use the practices as they are appropriate to you and use the word that you want, words or tools. So we're going to use the word shaman and shamanic practices in English. It only means then this. You are in some way merging with nature or the natural world. You merge. You're not keeping a strict boundary. You merge with the consciousness of certain animal consciousness, certain plant consciousness, maybe spirits, earth elements, elementals, this kind of a thing. You are merging and forming a strengthened natural composite as an agent of nature, as part of this living planet that we are living on. So I would consider then, if you are a shaman or using shamanic techniques, I'm using a very simple definition. You merge with nature in some way. If you find yourself craving that, we've been cut off, our shoes are made in such a way. If you're in a town or city, you spend a lot of time not with your bare feet on earth or plant covered soil, and so it produces a craving. You're hugging trees, you're out there hopefully helping yourself to reconnect. You're merging with nature. And the other thing that I'm going to say is that as a shamanic practitioner, as somebody who has shamanic practices in your own personal spiritual human practice, you're going to move between worlds in some way. So you're a go-between. Now you can go between worlds. You can use some kind of trance-inducing state. Drums are absolutely functional. They work really, really well. But you could also just use sounds of nature, your own breathing, quiet of your own space between your thoughts, humming, toning, bells, waterfalls, a dripping faucet, absolutely anything to go into a trance state. And in that trance state, the drumming would only be a facilitation to enter the trance state. You don't have to drum. Once you're in the trance state, though, what you do with it then is to journey between worlds, maybe traditional worlds, like you'll hear people talk about the 3 worlds and lower world. This is the middle world, and there's an upper world, but you don't have to use that at all. You can simply go to the realm where the answer to your question is, or go to the realm where there's energy that's going to help the person you're trying to help. Information and energy, you pass messages along, you transfer energy between realms. That's it. So as a go-between, as a spiritual go-between, and as an agent of merging with nature and parts of your own larger consciousness, you may already be utilizing what I'm terming shamanic techniques. And aren't they appropriate for you as a consciousness? And when I teach shamanic practices having to do with ancestral healing and moving, say, into the past, a past life of yours, for example, I have to define your ancestry in 2 different ways simultaneously. I have to define your ancestry in the typical way, and it's going to be the DNA that you've inherited and the ancestry of your physical vessel. And maybe at most, I'm going to consider that half of your influence. For some of us, it is less than half. Assess it for yourself. For some people, it is most or all of what they're working with in their lifetime, and that's okay. You might have a soul's purpose that involves completing an ancestral lineage's purpose, or healing, or clearing, or something that has to do with your bloodline. And for most of us, especially light workers, old souls, star seeds for sure, you will more be working with the other type of ancestry I like to define, which is your soul ancestry. And it's going to be the culmination of your past life experience leading up to where you've developed now. So let's say you are 100%, let's give you something northern. Let's say you're 100% Icelandic in this lifetime. Your physical vessel is 100% Icelandic. You find yourself on North American soil, and a large, prominent, influential number of your past lives was as an indigenous person on North American soil. What do you feel like? Who do you feel like you are? What are you attracted to? What do you remember? What have you mastered in other lifetimes that doesn't have a lot to do with your ancestry in this lifetime? So you might be 100-1. What if you were? Then is it inappropriate for you to use your soul's recognized spiritual tools to continue your spiritual growth? Is that inappropriate somehow? Are we going to get mad at you? And if the person's mad at you and they are of a bloodline that's completely indigenous in this place and time, and they were Icelandic for 100 lifetimes, and this is their first ever indigenous North American lifetime, then is it appropriate for them to be mad at you? It's debatable, maybe yes. And if that is true for you, use another word. Tune into your soul, listen to your heart, and find what is appropriate to you. Okay. Sorry if I was making a bunch of noise there. And I feel like when you are doing these shamanic practices, merging with nature, moving between realms freely, yay, I love this. Okay, there are some questions on here too. Thanks, you guys. And hi, Carrie. Hi, Robin, Janet, Alicia. I see you there. I'm really happy to have you here with the live. So what I was going to say, though, is that you reclaim a certain amount of your power, both by connecting to nature and by claiming whatever techniques or the actions you can take in the physical drumming, a repetitive drumming at a certain speed, for instance, that brings you into that trance state. You're reclaiming your power through the interconnectedness of larger parts of who you are, and then as a network. Imagine all of us doing these practices as a planetary network here and now, all the continents, all the cultures, all the people who want it. When I talk about Star Walker shamanism, I asked about, the word, and my guides were giving me information, curriculum, showing me through my own journeys what would be valuable in the new energies and how we could navigate and know who we truly are. And I saw us all over the planet. So there's not a country, a nation, a nationality, a gender or heritage, ancestry, or anything that's excluded. We're not excluding anybody. So reclaim this power that we have as sort of a collective consciousness. You have your individual self, and that's not going away. But you take the time then to merge into this network, and you feel the power of the whole. And it's a lot for you. It's a lot of protection. It's a lot of knowledge. It's a lot of support. And you get sensitive to really feeling it. And so when you need to tap in, you tap into this collective, and we're here with you. You're not alone. There's no such thing. So I had a couple questions come in. The word is Tlingit, and I hope I'm saying it sort of okay, but Tlingit, I think. The word shaman actually comes from, forgive me if I'm a little bit off, but I'm thinking of like Russia and Siberia. And so if it's the realm the region we call Siberia, or one of the neighboring areas, then that uses that word, and it means somebody who goes between worlds, such a go-between messenger. Then your shaman, the kind of what is that, like conductor of souls. They help people to cross over between the realms as well, as in death and dying, or communicating between realms, for example. This is just one of many jobs that you could call being a shamanic in nature. But in other languages, there's a wise man, wise woman, medicine man, medicine woman. You could go so far as to say that a healing witch, then a herbalist or something, would qualify then. And yeah, use it. Use what is attuned to your soul. I'm not judging any of these terms. Which one do you like and which one do you not like? Go ahead and have a look at why you don't like what you don't like. But go ahead and use what you like. It's okay. And if you just want to say this doesn't have a name, it's my spiritual practice, and as an earth person, yes, I like to journey between realms and I like to connect to nature. Power to you. It takes longer to explain though. So we're going to use the word as a shortcut, as a tool. And then there was even a question on here about journey. Is the word journey used in other modalities? I mean, in other modalities, yes. We use it in past life regression. I use it in like emotional alchemical transmutation, because you journey to the source. So we're using the word journey because that's what it feels like. If I were to channel my guide, like I did last week in the topic discussion, I would ask my guide to come here into my body and we would join in this place and time. If I were to journey and meet my guide somewhere where my guide wanted to show me a new reality, another dimension, my past life on, planet XYZ, I feel like I'm going somewhere. And then when you look at it clairvoyantly, you go either just in your consciousness. Everything's accessible immediately, so you could just go in your consciousness. But more like than not, when we're talking about a shamanic journey type episode, we journey in our light body. So it looks like your body made of light. I can still recognize your face. You're kind of glowy, and you are not limited then by this physical reality, by space and time, and you can journey. Your consciousness goes into your light body like it's in your physical body right now, and then in your light body you journey. If I didn't answer your question about journey, will you pop back in? But I have that as your answer right now. Sarah May, thanks for coming in too. And Carrie, you do love it. I feel like it's here again. Past life mastery. If you've been taught to fear any of the words that I was using for a spiritual master, spiritual practitioner today, if shaman gives you the heebies or witch gives you the heebies, you're not alone. I feel like we were programmed to fear these things. And if you have questions about that, I would like to direct you back to class 1 foundational practices, or May 1st, why don't you come on into the Ascension workshop and see for yourself and feel for yourself. Because well-meaning people who want to protect you would tell you, and some people would tell you not to get into these practices because it's better to be safe, and don't touch it and don't ask questions and don't go look at that. Maybe thinking that it's not safe. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Hey, don't do that, it's not safe. I might even tell you that, hey, don't do that, it's not safe. Until you ask for what you want. Again, back to foundational practices. This world's a hodgepodge of high vibration, loving beings, medium vibration, low vibration, want to bother you, want to, hurt you, lie to you, trick you, kind of beings. So, foundational practices set up your field of protection. Do not go into spiritual realms without setting up an intention of what you will allow and what you won't allow near you. So remember, we ask then to connect to a consciousness and to a being who has unconditional love. So we're looking at Christ consciousness, angelic beings. We're looking at Beings who love you, want the best for you, and are of a high vibration. No exceptions. So now already you've filtered out of your experience anything medium to low vibration. So now is it safe? Okay. I'm going to try something. Zoom and microphones are funny. So I'm just going to ask that if it is appropriate for the drumming to show up. The microphone's okay, that you can hear enough of it. It's not too loud. I'm trying not to overwhelm the microphone. It cuts out. Drums and Zoom are funny. Okay. And the first thing I'm going to ask you to do, if you can right now, is just close your eyes. You might hear some birds, outside noises. Do you hear this drum? Take a moment, close your eyes if it's safe for you to do so, and go ahead and ground down into the earth. You can sink your lower body all the way to the waist, into earth and ground, soil and stone. You can grow roots like a tree. Connect and merge with your Mother Earth, living, conscious, beauty, goddess, mother. And when you sink into earth, you are earth. You are an extension of the planet, the living being, and the consciousness, if you allow it to be so. And all of us in this place and time, regardless of when you join in your time, all of us sinking into earth, growing roots from all parts of the planet, forming a network, roots touching roots, sharing light and life and well-wishing. May you receive from your earth connection everything you need. Bless you in all your permutations. Bless you in your connections. Bless you in your lifetimes, this one and every single one you've ever had on the earth and off, dear one. This is for you. First time on the planet, we see you. This is for you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your light. Thank you for the consciousness you bring, high vibration being of beauty. We see you, and may the earth give back to you more than you ever shared, more than you could share, more than your service now receive in abundance from the earth, radiating from earth through you and out into the cosmos. Old earth souls, so many lifetimes. Old earth souls, may earth grow roots into you, pulling, removing old pain, old blocks, old failures. It was not your fault. As you live on and on, the credit to your soul is that you ever even tried. Blessings on your lifetimes, and blessings on this lifetime, where you are free, where you may float, where you may fly, no more difficulties. You spent your time experiencing restriction, now allow it to be released from you. She pulls, she takes away your pain, soften and allow it to happen. And may it continue to completion. If it's been a while, say out loud. If it feels stuck, if you wonder if it could be possibly true that you could finally be free, please say to the earth and all your guides and all the parts of your soul, I give permission for this healing. Go ahead and do it. Now, as your well-deserved healing continues, I want you to set up your field, your beautiful light all around your body, protection, love, empowerment. Inhale, grow your light large. Smooth, strong, filled in, cohesive, light fields with that perimeter in place. Keep your roots, keep your merging, earth being. And go ahead and reach out, out, beyond your field. Feel the natural world around you. Feel the cosmos and heavenly realms above you. And notice if there is a plant, an animal, or a being of high consciousness and unconditional love who comes towards you, touches your light, says, I'm here, I've come. Who is it today? Who's your helper, your helping spirit, your helping guide, your helping natural elements? Who or what is it? Allow yourself to know, open, touch it just a little bit. What do you need? Who's come to you? What part of you is making itself known? Allow them to stay nearby. Ask them if they are here for your highest good. And only when you get a yes and the truth in your gut shines. Only then allow the being then to touch your light, to be near you, to be close to you. And we're going to finish for today. But if there's a part of you, a being of love, who wishes to connect, spend some time asking, who are you? And what do you wish for me? And when you get a sense of the unconditional love, the well-wishing, the yes in your gut, that this being passes through your light field and comes only with love for you, then you could ask for further messages, write them down, wait for more to come in through your dreams, your insights, whispers, touches, synchronicities, numbers, signals, signs. Have fun with it. It's enriching. Feel it, notice what comes, what's good for you, what does it mean? And the more you ask, the more you will receive, and the more you'll know about who you truly are. Truly the power of then the shamanic practices. Okay. May you have a blessed rest of your day, weekend, week, and I'll be in touch. So, Ascension workshop next week. This time, 20 minutes from this time. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay. Blessings.